Evagoras Papasavvas is ready to get back to racing after nearly a month-long break in the 2024 USF 2000 IndyCar Championship racing season. He'll be on his home track at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course July 4th through July 7th. While he's a talented race driver competing for a driver championship, it's good to remember Evagoras is a teenager in the midst of summer vacation at home here in Loveland, Ohio. He's back with us now to share a little of his summer fun and a look ahead to getting back on the racetrack. Let's get right to Evagoras and hear his story. So welcome again, Evagoras Papasavvas, back with us here on Loveland Beacon Talks. We call it the Evagoras Papasavvas Racing. You know, it's like tracking Evagoras. So welcome to the show once again, Evagoras. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Trust me, it's my pleasure. It's always fun. But so hopefully you enjoy it as well. But as we were saying, offline, talking a little bit, it has been, it's coming up on a month for you since your last race, June 9th. And you'll be back on the track at Mid-Ohio on Thursday, July the 4th. And then, of course, racing, actually you'll begin with that first race on July the 5th. But in between, and I think it's good for our listeners to know, so Evagoras Papasavvas, 16 years old, yes, you're a USF 2000 IndyCar racer, but at the same time, you're 16-year-old, it's summer vacation, and so for like the last 3+ weeks, what have you been doing? Tell us some of your summer fun stuff.
Yeah, so I've been out hanging with friends, and actually trying not to think about racing too much, just because it's nice to just get that break, to not think about it. And I've been spending probably one of my favorite things that I did was I spent the weekend in Indianapolis with some of my former teammates from last year, Al Mori and Lucas St. Jean. So I spent the weekend in Indianapolis at Al's house, and we were just having fun. We were swimming. We were just having fun. Being teenagers. So yeah, that was really fun. And also just hanging out with some non-racing friends, some friends that live here that I'm friends with here in Loveland and Cincinnati.
Well, take me back real quick. So obviously, one of the favorite things these past 3 weeks was that weekend in Indy, and I know, it's been my pleasure also to get to know Al and his dad. And I know you and Al are great friends, regardless of the racing. Two young men who are great friends. Take me a little bit, what are some of the things, I was going to tease you, I was going to say, hopefully he has a swimming pool. Well, obviously there was some swimming involved, so there's a pool there somewhere. So tell me a little bit about that weekend and what you guys did besides just swimming and hanging out.
Yeah, we did a lot of swimming. That was a lot of what the agenda was. We went out to dinner, to lunch, to a few places. Just went to some restaurants that we don't really have here in Loveland and in Cincinnati. So it was good to experience that. And then just hanging out at Al's house. He has a lot of things to do at his house. We're just doing like teenager things. Just like playing ping pong, playing sport games in general. And yeah, just doing a lot of stuff. So it was very fun. And obviously, staying up very late, not getting a lot of sleep, staying up late. Slot car racing was a big thing. He has a slot car track at his house.
Oh, cool.
So we're doing a lot of slot car racing as well. So.
Oh man. Well, so I'm going to make sure Al gets to hear this.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to lay it out true. So who's the ping pong champion among you guys?
Well, I think when we did it, we all won one game. like one round. So it's all pretty evenly spread throughout all of us. But honestly, I think that Lucas St. John, my former teammate from last year, he's quite good. I don't know if it's like a Canadian thing to be good at ping pong, but he's quite good at that.
Oh man. Well, I guess you must have been honest to lay it out like that, and you weren't.
Yeah.
And you weren't buttering up Al or bragging about yourself. It looks like Luca gets the. He appeared to have the skills, huh, on the ping pong table.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it was a lot of fun. But then a little bit of kind of right up your alley for all three of you as racing drivers, the slot car stuff. So who is the toughest challenge on the slot car track?
In the whole weekend in general, and like the general trend of who was better, who was improving more. Al, he obviously it's his slot car track, it's his house, so he came in with the most experience, right?
Sure.
So in the beginning, on Friday, he was the quickest by far. I was second quickest, and then Luca was third quickest. And then as we got through the weekend. And just racing just for hours and hours. We actually raced so much that we actually burnt out one of the lanes on the slot car track. But it's all fixed now, and he made some modifications to it to improve the lap time on his track. But yeah, I think that by the end of the weekend I got pretty good at it. I still think Al was a little bit better than me, to be honest, but I was definitely right there. And if we would have been in a race, it would have been very, very close for sure. So Al definitely probably the quickest one, just by a little bit though, just by a little bit, and I'm there. So I'm right there, and with not having as much experience as him, I'd take that, pretty well. But Luca was struggling a little bit with the slot cars. We actually did a test for him to see if he'd be worthy enough to do a race with us. So we just gave him a car, just like one of the beginner cars, right? And we told Luca do 5 laps on the track without crashing and without going off. So that way, we could tell if he's able to race. And it took him 45 minutes to do 5 laps without crashing. and to put this into perspective, a lap time around his track is around like 7 seconds to 15 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
So, depending on the car, 7 to 15 seconds, and it took Luca 45 minutes to do that. So
without crashing or going off the track.
Yeah, so he's a little bit, throttle happy. So
I think I might have the same problem as Luca.
Yeah.
So now here's the thing. So I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. So if you do 5 laps on there without crashing or going off the track, what are you talking? 30 seconds? 40 seconds?
Yeah, I'm not really quite sure. It just depends on the car, but basically, the message is the same. It just took Luca a long time. Way longer than it should have. But then once he got the hang of it, he was, he was smooth rolling. So.
Well, that's good. Well, you know what? It doesn't surprise me that somehow taking off the 3 weeks from racing still included just a little bit of competitive racing for Evagoras Papasavvas and his racing friends. But
of course, and it wasn't even the slot cars. We were even racing on Al's racing simulator. And actually, over the weekend, there was the 24 Hours of Le Mans race that was going on. 24-hour endurance race. So we were watching that as well. We were up at 1, 2 in the morning watching the 24-hour race in France.
Oh, cool. You know what? I completely missed that this year. I think I caught some news about it, but I didn't watch any of it. So that's always a very exciting event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So did you have a favorite when you guys were watching that? Were you guys hey, this is my guy, or what was your?
Yeah, I think everyone had their own favorites, but I think the general consensus from everyone is that we want Porsche to do the best that they can. We wanted Porsche to win, and they were up there in the race. But they had a good start. They were up there in the race. But I think they finished fourth, so just off of the podium. So, and this is the overall class. They finished just out of the podium. But yeah, in those 24-hour races, it's very, very difficult to predict what was going to happen with those races, because anything could happen. The race is so long.
Oh yeah, that's they call it 24-hour endurance for a reason. Yeah, that's for sure. So,
yeah.
Well, that I'm trying to figure out a really nice, smooth transition. It's like we pull into the pits here and get out quickly with a nice, smooth transition, and that is from your racing friends in Indy to a big portion of your last 3 weeks has been just right here at home in Loveland, Ohio, with family and with regular friends who don't happen to also be racers. What are some of the things? What are some of the highlights from the 3 weeks in terms of? We'll start with the friends because we're going to touch on family stuff too. But what were some of the highlights with your friends during these last couple of weeks?
I think that the biggest part was the Greek festival. Even though it was just this last weekend, it's like 2 weeks of preparation for it. So me and my friends, we would go to the church just a few days out of the week every week, and we would prepare, set up the tents, get the food ready, everything like that. And it is a lot of work, but I think it makes it a whole lot better being with friends and just all the memories that you share. Even though it's a lot of work and it's pretty tough, but outside of the Greek festival, it's just been having sleepovers, just hanging out with friends, just messing around, really, just enjoying life.
What it sounds like is, as you said yourself a couple minutes ago, normal teenage stuff.
Yeah.
I truly appreciate all the time over these last years that you've spent sharing your story with me and ultimately sharing your story with readers and listeners from Loveland Beacon, the print version as well as, or the digital online printed version, as well as the shows we've done. It's nice to share a little bit of Evagoras that isn't, all the business of racing. And it sounds like these last 3 weeks have given. I can hear the smile in your voice, and for the listeners right now, Evagoras isn't sitting here with me. We're doing this by phone, so I don't get to see that smile, but I can still hear the smile in your voice about some of those things. Tell us a little bit more, because I know, as you just said, this is a special thing, and something that you and I share a little bit is the Greek heritage. Although mine's a little more from my mom's side. My grandfather came here from Greece, but you, a little bit more of that Greek heritage with your dad and family from Greece. But very close and very important to you is the Greek Orthodox Church, and obviously the Panegyri Festival that just took place. Here we are talking on Tuesday, July the 2nd, and that Panegyri Festival just took place over the weekend of June 28th, 29th. And as you said, I didn't know that there was that much prep that you were involved with over the last couple of weeks. But it sounds like that was good fun for you as well.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of prep that comes to, prepping all of the food. That's the biggest part, because there's so many people that come during the 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's just so many people that come, so preparation is a big thing. So yeah, I was just getting the prep was a big thing, and with my friends there, it definitely helped a lot. Because in past years, like 2 years ago, I would just do it all alone, and so having my friends there is a lot better. Even though it is a lot of work, you make a lot of good memories.
Well,
so the Greek festival was very, very. It was very good this year for sure.
Yeah. Well, so now here's the thing. So if I talk to your friends, are they going to say the same thing, that they had a great fun time, or are they going to say, "Man, that was just a lot of hard work"? we're going to kill Evagoras for getting us involved in that.
I I think it'd be a mix of both, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it is a lot of work. But when you look back at it in hindsight, you know, all the memories that we made, just very, very good in general.
Yeah.
But no doubt that there was a lot of work involved.
Yeah. Well, I think that from what you're sharing, there must have been a lot of smiles and laughter too. You guys had, I'm sure that 16-year-olds had a good time too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So that's good. Hey, another quick update for listeners. We haven't really talked too much about this, but I know another thing that just happened for you, Evagoras, is you now do have your Ohio driver's license. So throw that into the mix, you know, this summer. So like maybe some of that preparation and some of the things that you've been doing, you know, you've been behind the wheel of the car, getting yourself to the places you need to be, and even for that matter, for, you know, your training and stuff like that, regarding preparing for USF 2000 racing. But so how's it feel to be behind the wheel on the you know, I started to say the streets of San Francisco, which was an old TV show, but how does it feel to be behind the wheel on the streets of Loveland and Cincinnati and around?
Yeah, I think it's been very good, very beneficial to not only me, but also, you know, my friends and family, because, you know, my mom and my dad, they don't have to take me everywhere. And then that also, because, you know, they don't have to take me everywhere, that just gives more opportunities for me and my friends to hang out. So yeah, I think it's really good that I got my license. Very, very helpful. So, and it just provides more opportunities for me to go out and to do stuff with my friends. And I mean, it's definitely, like, driving wise, you know, I say this to everyone that I talk to about it. It's definitely a lot more boring, for sure. You know, especially just driving on the highway for like hours at a time. It is really boring. Especially, you know, comparing to what I normally do and what I'm used to.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, what's been, you know, I mean, you know, I'm laughing my head off right now because, you know, not ever having been a race car driver or going through what you've gone through before you ever had a regular Ohio driver's license, that, you know, that's like stunning and hilarious. Here you are, you're 16, got my driver's license, and this is really boring. And all we were thinking, myself and everybody else like me, is like, this is great, this is the most exciting thing ever. So what a comparison, what an insight into, you know, your world versus somebody else that's just, you know, eagerly anticipating finally getting that driver's license, and then the excitement that goes with it. A little bit of a different experience for you, though.
Yeah. I think it all comes down to just what I'm used to doing, right? Just used to going 150 miles an hour. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, none of us were saying that when we got our license, I can tell you. and if we were saying it, we were just saying it quietly so our mom and dad didn't hear it.
Yeah.
So otherwise a good experience, and obviously, as you said, a great benefit for you. To, you know, gives you some mobility, and I know I have seen you. I've seen your mom and dad. We ran into each other, you know, when we were all out to dinner the one night, and just happened to go to the same place. Which those were some great fish and chips, right? But
yeah.
At the lobster bake. But I know that, you know, your mom was quick to say how nice it is. You know, you've been able to like help her out and run your sister somewhere, or, you know, so that's nice when you can not just get yourself where you need to go, but help mom and get your sister where she needs to go, and you know, or run an errand for mom or dad or whatever. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, I think that's like, you know, when I say, you know, it's great for my family, is, you know, stuff like that, so I can help out. I can be, you know, a third person to help out instead of just my mom and my dad.
Amen. That's good stuff. So, I guess, you know, so yeah, hopefully you've had. Well, here's the other question, because I know I was hoping, and shame on me, because my 3 weeks must have been busier than yours with other stuff. So you and I did not get a chance to get on our bicycles together and go for that bike ride. We'll do that sometime. But hopefully you're not just driving the car all the time now. Hopefully you still jump on your bicycle and ride a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. I ride on my bike, because it's always good to do that, get some exercise in.
Yeah, absolutely. That brings us to the next thing. I know that regardless of the time away, it's not 100%. You've been doing the training. So take us through, what you're doing to keep up and to stay prepared for, as you get ready. Here we are July the 2nd, and on July 4th, you're going to be back on the track at Mid-Ohio. So, what's your routine been like in terms of the workouts and the training for driving USF 2000 IndyCar?
Yeah, so it's been pretty much the same as it's always been, just more often. I've been going to it because it's the summer now and I'm less busy with school.
Right.
But yeah, so I've been going to D1 as much as I can. D1 Cincy North, getting some training in with workout plans created for me by PitFit in Indianapolis.
Right.
And not only that, I've also been doing some cognitive and reaction training as well with Airs Elite Sports Vision, also based in Indianapolis. So it's been a lot of training for sure, a lot of physical activity, just to stay ready for the races to come, because the season's not over yet.
That's a fact, and in fact, not only is it not over, it's getting ready to It's like gentlemen start your engines again this week, right?
Yep. The championship's starting to ramp up these last 3 events, and I'm feeling pretty confident in these last 3 events that we can put together some good results and to rise to where we want to be in the championship.
Well, I'm going to do a quick recap, and then let's talk about the 3 events that are coming up. But when I say quick recap, and I sort of touched on it as we got started, Evagoras, so you last raced on June 9th at Road America in Wisconsin, and a 5th place finish after starting in the 7th position. That was in race number 10 for the season, and the second race that weekend. And of course, we know the first race there was mechanical issues, and that was basically didn't race that first race at Road America. But that second race came back out, rebounded well, 7th place start or 7th position start, and finished with a 5th position. And actually, battled for a higher spot as that race went on. So ultimately, a good day on that June 9th at Road America. Much better than the day before, obviously, with weather conditions and everything else that happened. But after all that, you're sitting in 3rd in the driver's standings. Just 10 points off of that 2nd spot in the driver's standings. And as you said, getting ready for these last 3 events, which is going to take you race number 11 all the way through race 18, starting with Mid-Ohio and then off to Toronto for the streets of Toronto, and then finishing up the racing season in Portland, Oregon at the end of August. But let's go, let's make turn 1 here, get us over to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And again, today's Tuesday, July the 2nd. So are you heading there tomorrow, Wednesday, or are you guys going to drive up on Thursday, July the 4th for those first 2 test sessions that take place?
So we will be driving up tomorrow, as there's a track walk tomorrow that we will be attending to get a look at the track and to see, important things about it. Very good.
So you guys are heading up on Wednesday, July the 3rd.
Yep.
But then back in the cars, and I know the schedule says 2 test sessions on July the 4th. I'm not looking at specific times of those, but I guess during the day on July the 4th, I'm starting to look at it now. So both of them are afternoon test sessions on July the 4th. So what will you be looking to accomplish, just in the test sessions? What does that mean for you and for your Jay Howard, for you specifically, but also for your Jay Howard driver development teammates? What are you guys looking to do during those test sessions?
testing at Mid-Ohio in the month of May, we had very good pace and we were very confident with what we had in the car. So really those 2 test sessions is just going to be trying to replicate that and try to get back to where we were at the test in May
right.
at Mid-Ohio. So yeah, just get back to where we were and make sure that we're feeling good for the qualifying and the races coming up later that week.
Right. Well, which moves us right, to the end of the day on the, everybody's going to be looking for fun on the 4th of July. You're going to be working. You're going to be doing those test sessions throughout that afternoon, and but then I'm sure you're freed up and looking forward to the, the practice session followed by qualifying, and then that first race takes place on the 5th of July on Friday. So, that's going to be a busy day Friday with practice, qualifying, and then the race later on at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's going to be very busy. I believe that's how it was last year. So
yeah. So which reminds me, and we should touch on this before we get, obviously, that's so. Race 1 is going to be at the end of the day Friday. You're going to race 2 midday on Saturday the 6th, and then you're going to wrap up the Mid-Ohio races 11, 12, and 13 on Sunday, July the 7th in a morning race. But let's go back. So this has got to be very exciting for you based on your results at Mid-Ohio last year, where you recorded your victory for the 2023 season and still looking for victory number 1 here in 2024.
So we're going to try and replicate the first win of the season just like last year. And then, just looking to carry that momentum and to just keep finishing well because, that's what wins championships. And even though we're in the last 3 events of the season, there's still a lot more racing to go and anything could happen. So we'll just have to wait and see.
I would sit here and say, now's your time, Evagoras. You're, like you said, this is going home more or less to your home track. Where, what does it mean to you? And I know we've talked about this before, but what does it mean to you to get back on a track where you've won? What does that do for you?
It's just a big boost of confidence, because you've done it before, so that means, you have that confidence to do it again. And, throughout the season, I've just been, continue working and everything like that. I've been working to win the entire season. I haven't yet. Just trusting God's plan. Cause I know that, His plan is the better. So yeah, just, trusting His plan, still putting in the work, still working for a win. So yeah, just really excited to get going at Mid-Ohio again.
No question about it. Hey, take us through, so Mid-Ohio sports car course, I'm cheating because I'm looking at some information right now. So 2.258 mile, 13 turn road course. If you can do that for us verbally right now, take us through a lap. What can you say, off the top of your head? I'll put you on the spot here, Evagoras. Do the best you can.
So, starting with turn one is a very fast corner. You're going to get a lot of dirty air from the cars in front. So it's all about carrying the most minimum speed as possible, carrying the most speed throughout the corner. And then, we go up the hill a little bit down to the keyhole, in turn 2. And there's a lot of elevation in this corner. It goes up and then it kind of comes down a little bit. So you have to use that to your advantage. The elevation. It's a very good passing opportunity and then also a very good place to set up pass for the long back straight going into turn 4. And then turn 4, very hard braking zone. There's a lot of elevation in this section, the 4, turn 4, and then you go all the way up again into turn 5, and then you hit the apex at the crest of turn 5, and then you come down to down again all the way to turn 6, and then 7, 8, and 9 very fast corners all together. So you have to tie them all together because if you mess up one of those corners, then it's going to set you up pretty badly for the rest of them. So you need to make sure you set up all those corners correctly. We go down once again through Thunder Valley, a very fast turn 10 left-hander. And then, this sets us up for the last corners 11, 12, and 13. in these last few corners here. The slowest part of the racetrack, but also a very important place to make sure that your car is in the right position as you go across the line.
Perfect. I love it. Well, I think you did a great job. I almost felt like I was in the car with you, going through those turns. So, well done. Question is, can you feel that just when you're describing it? Sort of you visualize that and sort of feel it.
Yeah, and that's also a very important part, to be able to visualize and to be able to speak what you're going to do, especially when we're talking in terms of preparation for a race. It's very important to do that.
Yeah. Well, Evagoras, listen, thank you so much for your time with us here again today as you get ready to head to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course this is going to be races number 11, 12, and 13 of the 2024 USF 2000 season. We wish you the very best throughout this week. Get a good spot in qualifying and set yourself up to let the guys behind you worry about the dirty air. But anyway, we definitely wish you the best, and thank you so much for joining us once again.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Evagoras Papasavvas, he'll be back in the car and back on the track starting on the 4th of July with the test sessions, and then racing the 5th, 6th, and 7th at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And we'll get back with Evagoras and Evagoras Papasavvas racing recaps after they finish this 4th of July weekend. Again, Evagoras, one more time, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks again, Evagoras. Coming up next is the return to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, where Evagoras claimed his first USF 2000 victory 1 year ago. The USF 2000 race season resumes there this week, July 4th through the 7th. We'll be back with more Evagoras Papasavvas racing reports then. But for now, this is Chuck Gibson saying thanks for listening here on Loveland Beacon Talks, Sports Special, tracking Evagoras Papasavvas racing. Loveland Beacon Talks, Sports Special, and Evagoras Papasavvas racing reports are a presentation of Loveland Beacon Digital Media and Gibson Communications, LLC.